you had this chapter about demons and sex, dogs and demons. Tell me about that.
By the way, I would say this, Lila, that what I think is unique about the book is I'm just sharing my experience. It's like sitting at the table with the Exorcist and say, what happened or what happened this morning? So it's not filtered in any way, rather raw, and just simply our experience. So, and I didn't exaggerate. I just told what happened. So dogs, I love dogs. One of my jokes is
I do too.
I love dogs. Do you have a dog?
I don't, but my husband, I tell him, we should get a dog.
Well, if you're home enough, you could have one. Yeah.
When my oldest son's old enough to take care of him, I think we're going to get a dog.
Yeah. Well, I love dogs, and I say this. I said all dogs go to heaven. Cats, I don't know. No, I was just kidding. Obviously,
the cat's a minion. No, just kidding.
Some cats are good. Some cats are good. I'm just kidding too. Only people go to heaven, but with dogs, God will take care of the dogs. Yeah. Anyway, so I love dogs, and I know a person who was a bit of a spiritual sensitive, who was given special gifts, and we've confirmed them. So she could had a little vision into the spiritual world, and she had a dog. And the dog could actually see demons and sense their presence. He would start howling when demons were about to enter before they got there.
Wow.
Now, she told me that. I said, well, does the dog help scaring the demons away? He said, no, he's worthless. But it's interesting. Now, if you actually go through the history books,
you think dogs actually go to heaven? I'm sorry.
No. Here's what I think. People get mad at me for a variety of this issue. By the way, everything I've said today, I'll get more grief on the dog thing than anything else.
We're in good company. I'm in good company because I've been getting a lot of grief lately too.
Yeah. So here's what I'll tell you about dogs. First of all, dogs are part of God's creation, as cats are too. They're part of God's creation. And yes, human beings are the only ones who can really take in the beatific vision. We're the only ones who are made to see the face of God, and so that we are only ones the capax Deus, we say, with the capacity for being united with God and full communion. But all of creation is created through Christ, through the Son of God, and all of creation, it will be transformed in the new age, a new heavens and a new earth. So in some way, all the trees, all the rocks, all the flowers, and all the dogs, and even cats are going to somehow be transformed and be there in the new world. So yeah, your dog, your Fluffy, I think will be somehow not lost.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, God created it. Everything God creates is good. You know, He's not going to shunt them off. If I love dogs, He must love dogs. Yeah.
You were going to say something else though. Before I asked, I kind of interrupted you. I apologize about dogs going to heaven.
Yeah, dogs. And there have been a number of cases where dogs actually could see demons. I had a case, for example, that which I tell in my first book on this, interesting, that a guy calls me up. I don't know how he got a hold of me, but he was from another state, and he's not Catholic. Matter of fact, he was a non-practicing Protestant. His whole family didn't believe, whatever. But they bought this house, and they're terrified because it was completely infested. That's the phrase, infestation. The house is infested with demons. And
how did they know?
Well, it's like a bad movie. You know those bad movies about it's a bad movie. Doors open and closing, windows open and closing, temperature drops to 40, 50 degrees, dogs howling, whistles, and it's the whole thing. It's just creaking, noises, talk. The whole house is completely infested.
And it's not like, oh, there's an old dishwasher and it hums. It's more than that.
Yeah. Oh no. The place was out of control. And when I heard him, and I said, I instantly knew this house is infested. And of course they went to the local Catholic priest, and he asked them if they had mice. You know, it's like, really? You know, come on. You're listening to this story and you're talking about mice? That's a pretty big mouse. I mean, come on, people. So anyway, I said, oh my gosh, the guy's got demons. And turns out, and then what you do, you look at what happened to the house before they got in there. Turns out the guy who owned the house was a child molester, sadly, and also he was practicing the occult. A terrible 1-2 punch. Both of those are very demonic. Molesting kids and also practicing the occult. He dies. House is now infested. The demons are saying, house belongs to us. This guy gave it to us. Well, in fact, he did. So now they're saying, we own this house. And so they're in the house now. They're so terrified that they're all sleeping in the master bedroom together. And the dog is...
With the kids? Were there kids?
Yeah, two kids. Two kids, mom and dad. And then the dog actually was lying at the edge of the bedroom door and kind of keeping guard. The dog could see the demons, knew when they were there, and would bark and howl and that sort of thing. God bless. And I've seen a number.
Dog.
Isn't that nice? And the dogs, and I've seen a number of cases like that where the dogs will see the demons. Actually, the cats can too sometimes. Sometimes you'll watch the cat going like this, and he's watching the demons. So yeah, you just want to make sure. The question comes: whose side are they on?
Did they get them out, or whose side are they on?
Terrible.
Always
cat
out. Always
going to hate me.
Okay.
I love cats too, by the way. There's some beautiful cats, but not always. Anyway, so yeah, basically what happened was
the cat. No, the attitude of the cat. The dog is like rah rah rah. Like they want to alert the parent.
Yeah.
The cat's just like just like crawl, slink off. Like let the demons like run around. Anyway, so we're gonna I'll probably get hate for even that. So we'll keep going.
I called the local Catholic priest. I asked him where they lived.
Yep.
I called the local parish. I said, Father, he said, these people need help. He said, well, I'm going on vacation tomorrow for 2 weeks. I said, this is an emergency. Usually I don't do emergencies, so I said, this is an emergency.
They're like, Cancun can wait.
Yeah. And so anyway, God bless him. He goes over there right that night.
Good man.
And says the right of the house and go on a 2-week vacation. So I asked that, and a couple of days later, I said, how's it going? He said, he said a lot better, about 80% better, but there's still some whistling and some voices and things slamming, and there's still some of that, all that stuff going on. I said, fine. Priest comes back. I said, Father, can you go over again? He said, fine. Goes over again, says the right the second time, house is clean. And that's typical, by the way. It sometimes will take years to pray over people, but for some reason, not always, there's some tough cases of houses too, but usually it'll clean up quicker. So sure enough, demons left. I talked to him 6 months later, then 2 years later, and basically house cleaned. He's now sitting with his family in the front pews of the church.
Was he practicing his faith before this?
No, they were not practicing. She didn't believe, and the kids didn't believe, and they weren't doing nothing.
What a mercy that's amazing.
Yeah, well, right.
So their house, buying a house that was owned by a child molester and a occult practitioner,
right,
and experience all this demonic activity, having the local priest help them out, basically transform their family.
Yeah, they learned it the hard way. So you say, well, I wouldn't want to be possessed or vexed, but sure, but it teaches you the faith. And I would say one of the major things that being an exorcist does, it teaches you by experience the truths of the faith. Now, I'll tell everyone listening, I want you to listen to this. Everything the Catholic Church teaches is true. Every one of them. Go through the catechism. Every word is true. And if you disagree with it, it's your problem. Because we experience every one of those things in an exorcism, and I mean every one of them. At some point or another, you're going to hear it all. And the demons are going to react to things, and they're going to whatever. And you experience the truths of the faith on a daily basis.